And good evening, everybody. Hey, welcome to this episode of Note Night in America. Glad you are doing well. Hopefully, you're doing well. Glad you're joining me here on Monday night. If you're catching the replay, hey, we're glad to have you watch the replay and listen to the replay as well, whether it's on YouTube or anywhere that you get your podcasts out there. And it is hard to believe that it's been a couple years since we actually targeted this topic for you guys out there. And we cover this every time we teach our 3-day note buying workshop, our virtual note buying workshop. We're just spending time on Saturday, day 2, talking about the funding side, but also the marketing side. And the 30 by 30 marketing matrix that we've been teaching for years goes way back before I got involved with notes. It started back when I actually started working for somebody else. And I'll talk about some of the marketing geniuses that I've been around who've been able to impart their knowledge on me, just a fraction in how I've been able to use it for you guys. But my biggest goal for you tonight, if you're listening to this, whether it's tonight, day, morning, whatever, is for you to do 2 things. One, if you're watching this on YouTube, leave a comment. Let me know when you're watching it, what your name is, that kind of stuff. 2, if you're listening to the podcast, leave a comment, leave a 5-star review. Totally love to hear from you. If you're looking to join, hey, go check out notenightinamerica.com. That website will take you directly to the Zoom registration list, RSVP, so we can make sure that you don't miss out any of the live videos of the live webinars we do on Monday night. But anyway, the 30 by 30 marketing matrix comes down to things to help you stay online when it comes to marketing. I was just having a conversation with one of my dear friends, Stephanie Lahart from Boomtown Marketing. She's a social media expert, and she does a lot of social media marketing for small to large business. She's done it for a couple new companies. She worked for electric car company, a couple new companies launching, startups. Just absolute rock star when it comes to social media marketing. And one of the great things that we both agree on, it's helpful to have tools for you to implement. Because let's face it, social media marketing and what you need to be doing, when you need to be doing it, can be very overwhelming. And we know that a confused mind is a mind that says no. Well, tonight's webinar, tonight's podcast is to help you break through that fog, to come up with a plan that you can implement or you can give to your assistant, to your VA, and have them go to work to help you look smarter, look bigger, create more content, and just be more effective in the consistency of your marketing. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's what we're going to talk about tonight, the 30 by 30 marketing matrix. Take some notes. There will be a link for you to be able to use, to type into, to grab actually my slides along with the worksheet that we'll share with you. That many people have taken that worksheet, posted up next to their desk, in their office, in their cubicle, and it helped them not only in their real estate investing, but their real estate. We have realtors, loan officers, other experts who are marketing in their business, and they really use the 30-30 marketing matrix. So anyway, let's dive into it anyway, guys. But welcome to Note Night in America. If it's your first time, we've been doing these for over 12 years on Monday nights, mostly live, some pre-recorded, but really been around for a while from the days of doing conference calls with people about that. But these calls are recorded. You can always check it out at weclosenotes.tv for the replay or listening to the podcast anywhere that you listen to podcasts out there. So make sure you check out weclosenotes.com for more information on the different things and some of the different podcast episodes. Like I said, you can register for the Zoom on Note Night in America by going to notenightinamerica.com. And that will take you to the Zoom. Register for it. It's free to do. You'll be on our database, and that way you'll be alerted when new episodes and new webinars are going on. And if you can't make it live and want to catch it, go there. We'll send you the replay. Okay. Now make sure you follow us online. Follow us, our number 1 YouTube channel at weclosenotes.tv, our number 1 podcast in the industry, the Note Closer Show podcast. But importantly, if you have questions, want to book a phone call with me, I'd love to hear from you. Go to talkwithscottcarson.com. That's talkwithscottcarson.com. And that'll take you to my calendar to book a 30-minute phone call. And I love hearing from you. I got to give a big shout out to Forrest Hyde. I just heard him. I talked with him today. He's a realtor locally. He's looking more to learn about notes. So it was great to connect with him. He picked my brain for about 30 minutes on notes and stuff like that. I love hearing from people because I want to answer your questions and help you point you in the right direction. And of course, you can follow me on most social media accounts as at Scott Carson or the Note Guy. All right. But like I said before, I was very, very lucky to learn marketing from geniuses, much smarter people than me. Okay. From 2004 to 2008, I learned about notes from Bob Leonetti and Jimmy Kayla when I was basically helping them coach their students, but also running the mortgage company and with Boyd Pops and I. And I learned about a lot of the marketing tactics they taught me, made me a really great loan officer, mortgage broker to get things done. And Bob is still fantastic. Jamie's amazing. They've gone on to do different things. But the third person I learned from is somebody who's still in the marketing phase, one of the most brilliant marketers out there, one of the big guys, big head honchos over at Traffic and Conversion Summit, digitalmarketer.com. That's Roland Frazier. And Roland is the host of the Business Lunch podcast. He's a principal digital marketer. They have the largest marketing conference in North America. Now they've also got it in England, also have it in Australia called Traffic and Conversion Summit. I also still like to follow his SlideShare stuff and talk with him when I can, because I get tons of value information that I can apply to my business. And I like to share it, hopefully, with you guys so that you can add some of the smart things. We all know marketing is constantly changing. Things you should be doing, things that you used to do don't no longer work. You got to be moving. I mean, death and taxes are the only two things that are constant. Marketing for your business has changed so much since 2004, 2005, 8. It's changed since 1995, since I graduated high school. It's changed since 2001 when I graduated college with a marketing and management degree. And it's not meant to overwhelm you. It's meant to if you apply what we teach tonight a little bit, and it's applied not on a heavy basis, a little bit each day goes a long way in finding success in the long run. I didn't get to be the number one note investor, note educator, and having the number one podcast on my YouTube channel just overnight. It took a little bit of time, but a little bit each day, drip marketing to my network, to my audience, building a list, and sharing on a consistent basis has brought you guys into my channel. And it's just from being consistent is one of the most number one things I can tell you to do. And that's what tonight's all about. So I kept learning and applying. I've been to a ton of conferences, been on a lot of podcasts, marketing summits. I've talked with many social media experts and picked their brain. But one of the things I love hearing from people is people tell me that you're everywhere. And I love your content. It's always a good thing. I love your podcast. I love your videos, but you're everywhere. And here's the thing. I'm everywhere because I'm consistent, but I also understand search engine optimization, also understand putting stuff out on a regular basis. It doesn't have to be difficult. Most people think that if you're going to put out something daily across it, it's got to be 8 different things. I'm the biggest advocate of KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. Okay? Or keep it simple, Scott. Simple, but applicable. I was just talking, like I said, my friend Stephanie Lahart, and we were talking about memberships and training. She's like, oh my God, that's brilliant how you do it. You keep it simple, easy for people to access. It's not a lot of work on your side to make things happen. But with all the success that we've had, people have started reaching out to me over the years to help them for marketing help. I'll give you a great example. Some of the people that we've helped out, Dan Hanford from the Multifamily Investor Nation Summit. That's a huge multifamily summit that we helped guide him on his first couple of years to get rock and rolling. Aaron Young from Laughlin Associates has asked for marketing help. George Antone from finance has helped us out. Of course, my biggest, I guess you could say, rival in the street reached out, wanted me to help him out with his stuff a few years ago. And I was like, no, I'll stick in my lane. You stay in your lane. Meryl Chandler from getfundable.com has taken some of the things that we've done and applied to his business. We're glad to help him out with that. Quest Trust Company started doing virtual events because of us. Watermark Exchange, our buddy Val here, we helped him launch his exchange years ago and do so well while he kept it up and running. So to this day, we still do virtual events. We still work with and consult and coach people outside of the industry. I work with several realtors and other entrepreneurs in other industries to help them with their marketing, and other podcasters to take their business and message to a whole different level. So we're here to help. But there's been two primary keys of success to our business. One, you've heard me say it before, is consistency is key. Stick to being consistent. All right. I won't say I'm the fiber of the business, but sometimes staying regular isn't a stinky business. It's meant to be stuff on a regular schedule. The more you put things on a calendar and make it a priority and get in the habit of doing it, becomes much easier to do. You've heard that it takes 60 days to build a long-term habit. Well, it starts with doing it for 21 days straight. Okay, consistency is the key, but that's the biggest thing. Just staying consistent. That's why we've got 160 episodes of Note Night in America. I've been doing it for 13 plus years, but also with the Note Closer Show podcast coming up on 850 episodes. Okay. When we've done weekly webinars in Open Night in America, we have weekly emails, videos that go to our database, weekly podcast episodes across the base. But like I said, the second thing is, like I said, we try to keep it simple. KISS. Okay. We like to take tools and clone content. All right. So that one thing that I was taught long ago is not everybody's sitting around waiting for you to post something. Okay. And by you, I'm not talking about me, I'm talking about you. Most people give up if they post one thing, shoot one email, do one social media post. Oh, nobody responded to it. You have to understand it takes time and repetition to do it. 80% of sales happens after the fifth contact. If you're around me long enough, you'll hear me talk about it again and again. You're not going to get a list of notes the first time. It takes regular, consistent follow-up to do that, or creating content. And that's the thing that we like to clone content, taking one thing and then post it in one spot and then resharing it multiple places so that we have a net of our content out there, not just individual lines in the water. Okay. We're also a big proponent, and we know that many of you are marketing on shoestring budgets or very minimal. We like to use free and cheap tools or software. We do pay for something that we know we're going to get the big bang for our buck, but still affordable on most budgets. And I also, most important thing is listening to your audience, listening to what you tell me you want me to talk about. And I always know it comes down to, you want me to talk a lot about deal flow, due diligence, raising capital, and marketing. Those are the four biggest things that we hang our hat on. And of course, yes, we'll bring on guests in our podcast to talk about some different subjects from time to time, but mostly it's got to be around those four topics are the biggest things when it comes to how are we helping the markets. You get the markets in with the marketing as well too for you. Okay. And here's the thing is, I'm not perfect. I don't do a lot of editing. Yes, they talk about, oh yes, you should, spend a lot more time on editing, make sure it's perfect, it's all glossy, it's wrapped up in a bow. I don't believe in that. I'm a big believer in that delivered is going to beat perfection every time. Anytime you get something out in the marketplace, it's going to beat those that are waiting for the perfect thing. Note Camp did that. There was another conference. It was going to be an online virtual note conference. We delivered faster and more efficient. There was things that messed up on, but it beat our competition to the point where they never did it again. Same thing with the podcast. There's a lot of content out there. There's things that we could tweak. Sorry, I got a little bit of a dry throat here. But we know that you want that information. We want to get it out as fast as possible to you. They take a lot of time and days and days and days of editing. It's going to miss the mark every time. Okay. And then we've built that formula to rinse and repeat it. Cloning content, using tools that are cheap, listening to what you tell me, what questions you ask me when you call me or you email me or what you respond to, and working to get it out on a regular basis fast. And that's what our biggest keys to success. Now, here's the thing. Most investors, most new real estate entrepreneurs struggle with, when they are in business and somebody talks about marketing, they often get that whole like deer in the headlights. What the hell am I going to market or talk about? I like looking at deals. Doesn't mean I want to talk about the deals. I want to look at deals. I get it. Looking at a listing or looking at listing notes is so much more attractive. But if you don't have the capital behind you of money, and that's what marketing will help you do, is help you with raising capital. That's one of the biggest things, but it also will help you with deal flow. If you don't have deals, like going to the crappy listing websites that are available out there, that's a limited number of deals to look at. That's just a drop in the bucket. If you know how to market, why not have deals sent to you? Why not getting lists sent to you that you can spend much more time looking at that are better deals and less competition? The next thing that people struggle with is, what's the best time should I post? Like, should I post at midnight, at 9 o'clock, or at noon? Like, I can't. You should be posting while I'm at my kid's game, or in the middle of making love to my wife. Should I post a post? That's a whole different type of thing. And if you've got an OnlyFans account, that might be different for you there. But there are things you don't need to be posting 20 times a day. There are some simple tools that you can use to schedule your posts. If you've got a job and you're doing this on your part-time basis, you can spend an hour maybe on Saturday, Sunday, or one night and pre-plan your posts to go live there so that you do keep a work-life balance and can keep a happy wife or happy spouse out there for you, okay? And that leads to the next thing. How much time is this going to take me to market? I always tell folks, like, plan to spend 5 to 10 hours a week as a part-time person. And some of that time is going to be marketing. If you're not spending 5 to 10 hours a week, you're just spending like an hour a day looking at deals, okay, but you're missing out on the marketing side. You have to look at where your deficiencies are at and realize there's some things you got to do to overcome your weaknesses. Okay. But we're not talking 40 hours per week. Okay. Oh, here's another thing. Well, I'm not technologically savvy. Okay, that's fine. But guess what? If you can go on and record with your phone and upload, this stuff is not meant to be difficult. Okay. I've got people that are from 18 to 80 who are taking the things that we teach and starting to learn. Don't outwit yourself. Okay. Don't let your limiting beliefs stop you from doing some things. Because if you do the things that we're talking about later on, you will find success if you just stick with it consistently. Give it 30, 60, 90 days, and you'll be blown away and realize, hey, this actually stuff does work. Okay. I've been using one tool I learned from Roland Frazier to help me out with this. And this is what we're really talking about. It's the marketing matrix. And usually the marketing matrix is something when I first started working with Bob and Jamie and Roland brought it to the table when we were out coaching, was literally to show people, hey, everybody loves worksheets, right? One-page PDFs that you can work on. And that's the marketing matrix. This simple form or spreadsheet, depending on what you like to do, 30 days on one side, that's the days of the month, okay? Or across the top, topics that you do daily, weekly, monthly. And everything's going to change a little bit between the daily, weekly, monthly things based on your schedule, your skill, and what's going on. Now, some of these things that we used to do, we no longer do, okay? Because the times have changed. And other things that we do now that we didn't do years ago because it's new, right? So the 30-30 marketing matrix, it literally is going to give you basically roughly 30 marketing activities. Some of you can do more, some of you can do less. Like I said, some of you are going to do a little bit of daily. Some of these are going to do once a week. Some of these are going to do once a month. But the matrix in the spreadsheet here is designed to help you keep track of what you get done. Now, every time that we meet for a mastermind, or I have coaching students come in, we will spend time. What did you do in the last 30 days? Look at the marketing. How many emails did you send out? How many posts did you post? How many things did you create? Did you send out any postcards? All that goes into marketing, okay? And you're either going to score an A, B, a C, a D, or you're just going to fail, okay? And it's pretty simple to track this stuff. So the idea here is you're going to tweak your 30 by 30 for your schedule and your calendar. Okay, if you are doing this part-time, or you are like a long-haul truck driver, or you've only you're on 7 days and off 7 days, hey, this will work for whatever your schedule is. Okay. The idea is some of these things you can pre-schedule through tools. Other things you need to get somebody to do it for you, and that's fine. But here's the thing: if you get 90 actions, that's checking a little box 3 times a day. Very easy to do. You'll get an A. You'll start seeing results. If you do 2.5 a day, that'll get you, 2 to 3 things a day, somewhere in between that, it'll get you a B. You'll see actions. If you do 70 actions throughout a month, that'll get you a C. 60 actions is pretty simple. That's twice a day. There's no brainers on lots of this stuff. You'll still see activity, but you just got to give it time to do that. If you do less than 2 things per day, guess what? You're probably not going to hit success in marketing. You're going to probably struggle, and that's okay. But you just got to be honest with yourself. Did you really show up and do some of these simple things? And the answer to this overwhelmingly most of the time is no. I didn't do that. I didn't do that. I didn't do that. Well, therefore, you don't get results. What you put into A and effort equals C is outcome. Well, if you have 0 effort, 0 actions, you're not going to have any different outcome. All right. If you can't mark your business at least 2 times a day through a variety of actions, you aren't really in business. It's a hobby, and you're just going to keep it a hobby, and you're not going to have any impact that long-term success or long-term profitability. I know that most people get in real estate to make money, right? They want to leave their job. Well, guess what? If you're putting 40 hours of work in at a job, you can't expect to leave that job by putting in only 1 hour a week on other things, unless you're going to news and trying to scratch off tickets. That's still not going to work for you, okay? So let's talk about some of the daily activities that you can do. All right, that are meant to be pretty simple for you. Daily activities. This is one of the things that always kills me is you can literally just repost articles about real estate investing. Okay. Like my latest episode from the Note Closure Show came from an article that I found on USA Today about the top 100 distressed cities in America. Well, I'm in the top 50. Okay. But we can use housingwire.com or dsnews.com. And I've been doing this from this month to our WC numbers, posting an article a day for the most part. Hey, go share this. Okay. Another thing that you can do is reaching out to LinkedIn connections. Now, a lot of us are like, well, do I need a second profile on LinkedIn or can I use my existing one? Here's the thing, just use your existing one. If you're worried about somebody seeing what you're posting, go block them. If your boss or your employees or your company is using LinkedIn to grow and find it, then you might need a separate profile. But for the most part, 99% of the time, if you're worried about your boss seeing it, they're not marketing on LinkedIn, just go block them. Most of you guys aren't marketers leveraging marketing for your job, so you use LinkedIn, just go block your bosses and your HR folks. But there's a tool called Octopus CRM that allows you to connect with like 20 to 100 people a day. And for 21 bucks a month, that's less than $1 a day. That's 70 cents a day. You could set this up where and start connecting with 20 to 100 people a day. This is how we grew our LinkedIn connections from 6,000 to 30,000 in a couple of years. Most of you aren't going to get out and talk to 5 people a day or even 10 people a day, 1 people a day about what you do. Well, you might as well automate this so that Octopus can work your LinkedIn and grow that audience for you in 5 minutes a day. You log in, pick the 100, or set it up and boom, set it and forget it, and it does it there for you. Okay. Social media posts, I'm going to put an asterisk next to this. Okay. Because I'm not a big fan of Facebook. Now, if you get a Facebook group, guess what you can use there? Now, a lot of groups are getting kind of bogged down with a hash, where they're at everyone or at followers, where it shares everything to everybody. Well, if you don't have a big followership, then you may not be doing it. But if you're in a part of a group, that might make sense for you to post in different real estate groups across the country. Those actually do work pretty well. Looking and leveraging Instagram or Twitter is pretty easy. By go look for a hashtag real estate investor, everybody tags themselves that. Those things are one ways to connect with others that are looking for real estate investors or looking for real estate content. That's a pretty easy way to post articles that you just found and created across that stuff, or other things that you find that's valuable. Okay. Bigger Pockets blog keywords. Once you set these up, it's a great thing about having a Bigger Pockets profile. Bigger Pockets is a dumpster fire. Let's just be honest with it. Okay. Way too many educated idiots getting on there commenting about stuff that they don't have any clue about. And I really don't trust people that spend, every day on Bigger Pockets commenting when they should be doing more deals. Okay. But you can go set your keywords up on Bigger Pockets for notes or apartments, whatever you're focused on, so that when people do go post something on there, you get an alert that somebody posted. Now, I like to use Bigger Pockets in the past before I got banned from it. Is I like to post articles on there. If you do your keyword search, you're going to see people asking questions about a specific niche. Those are good things to comment on a daily basis, and do that 30 minutes to a day. That's about all you got to do. But what I like to do is using Bigger Pockets to raise capital is set your keywords up for 50K to invest, 100K to invest, 75K to invest. And a lot of people will literally go into Bigger Pockets and type in those words like, hey, I got 50K to invest. What should I do? Well, that's your opportunity to send them a message, send them a short little video, or talk more about what you do. It's a great way to comment and connect with them. Okay. Same thing. Look at the posts of your connections or some of the people that you follow on LinkedIn. See what they're posting about and then comment, like it, share it. That's a great way to grow organically, and people will start noticing if you are commenting on their LinkedIn posts on a pretty regular basis. Okay. On the connections that are getting traffic, where they've got a good following, where they're getting comments, responses, those are great things to post on, because a lot of people will draft off of that. And you may want to start following some of those people also commenting on that. Okay. We did that with LinkedIn and really found a lot of note investors, real estate investors, using LinkedIn search to find it. Okay. The people that are commenting, those are the ones you want to connect with, because those are the ones that are paying attention to things. And LinkedIn really hasn't shut down their algorithm like Facebook has done, to where it limits where only 1% of your followers see it. Okay. And then same thing, look at the responses, look at what people are sharing about, and use that in your own marketing. Like I just saw a colleague post the top college towns in America. Now, Austin ranks the top college town in America. I was like, oh, that's a great article to use with my local database, or talk about investing. What are the top college towns, and are these great markets for potential note deals? So get a little creative. Those are not things that can be too difficult. Now, here's the thing. This is not meant to be difficult. The reason we start this off with Housing Wire and BS News, you can go on there and find multiple articles. Go to USA Today, look at money articles, start following some periodicals that way, Wallet Hub, Credit Karma, whatever. A lot of them are putting out great content for you to use that you can share and talk about. Just posting an article is one thing. You really need to add a sentence or two. Hey, what do you think about this? Or here's what we found to be great about it to get the most amount of activity. Okay. But that's like posting twice a day. Okay. That's not difficult at all. Okay. Weekly activities, doing these once a week. That's 4 more things for you. If you do it twice a day times 30 days, that's 60 right there. If you did just 1 or 2 posts of those, that's 60. You're going to start having some traction. Well, if you add once a week activity, okay, guess what? You can go and set up your buffer.com. That's a social media scheduling post that will automatically post to Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, a few others out there. If you can't post on a daily basis, once a week, go in and set up your buffer, or Hootsuite is a little bit more expensive and pre-schedule a post to go across the platform. Everybody should have an email database. And I don't care if you got 20 people or 20,000, your database needs to get some sort of email from you on a weekly database. That's your warm database. These are people you network with, you meet at your real estate clubs, or you meet at conferences. Check out, we have a new podcast episode coming about how to build a database as an investor. What are some things you can do, the top 5 ways to build a database? Here's the thing. You want your database to stay on top of what you're doing by providing them something at least once a week. And not everybody's on social media, but if you've got somebody's email address, guess what? You can send them an email once a week, not daily, but once a week. Hey, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, or hey, here's a deal that we're working on, or hey, we're going out to the local real estate club. Come on and network. Those are simple things. Or here's a deal I did in the past, or here's a deal that I'm working on. That's simple. We're not talking long, like, oh my gosh, like Reader's Digest, abridged versions of books. We're talking like 20 lines in an email. That's it. If you have longer than 20 lines, you've got too much content. Okay. And then second thing is send up a follow-up email 2 days later. So if you send it out on a Tuesday, send it out a follow-up email on Thursday, those that didn't open up. That's a pretty simple activity you do once a week to find success. Okay. And then same thing, commenting on others' articles. You could do that at least once a week. I also think it's important. If you're going to be sending an email blast out to your database, it's really easy to turn that into a LinkedIn newsletter. Okay. You could also do a Facebook Live. If you're out at your local real estate club, do a Facebook Live. Hey, we're out here learning about rehabbing tonight with so-and-so. Or I'm here walking a property, or I'm here looking at a note deal this week. And that works any time of the day. You can record it with your phone and then upload it later on for it to go live, or do a Facebook Live, which is, doesn't need to be long, 10 minutes, ideally, pretty easy to do, talk about deals. Take that same video and throw it up on LinkedIn. One 10-minute video, now you just got placed in 2 spots. Or guess what? Share it to YouTube, TikTok, that's 3 and 4 spots. Twitter, okay? If you're part of a meetup group and they got a message board and you're talking about a deal in that city, guess what? Go share that video. Hey, here's a deal that I'm working on. Anybody interested in finding out more information? Okay. Another thing that I throw in weekly activities is networking, getting out to your local real estate club, or guess what? Going to a BNI group, Business Networkers International. Going for a breakfast or a lunch once a week with your group is a great thing to do it. Like I said before, on the daily activities, going and commenting on Bigger Pockets posts, checking out your Bigger Pockets keywords weekly, at a minimum is what you should be doing. Okay. Same video. If you create a blog about it, or have your 10-minute video transcribed, it could be a little deal blog that you can post to Bigger Pockets. Okay. You take a picture of the property that you were looking at and share it to Instagram as a post. Okay. One thing that's a little bit more of an advanced strategy for you, but is so valuable, is releasing and starting a podcast. If you can't start a podcast, then guess what? Go try to guest on other investors' podcasts. Many real estate podcasts are looking for guests. Now, I'm not necessarily looking for just generic real estate investors. I'm looking more for specific, so I'm kind of picky about who I let on. But there's plenty of other types of investing podcasts, no matter what your niche is. Go find the podcasters in that niche and pitch coming on to talk about a deal or two. That's the easiest thing to do. We do that, try to do that twice a week, okay? Same thing, we talk about weekly activities, doing a message blast. What's a great thing about Octopus, if you cap out your weekly allotment, they do allow you to send a very generic Octopus connection request through email up to 500 people once a month. And you could do that once a week. If you capped out on the Octopus connections, they've got the separate thing to send out, which is worthwhile. Posting in LinkedIn groups once a week is good. You take your deal blog or your short video, sharing it there. Same thing with Facebook groups. And then also once a week, I always like to go in and look at for like note investors or real estate investors and see what other people are posting. Here's the thing that always amazes me. This is the thing I always laugh at. Is there's always these events, these conferences. I'm not going to name any names. You can Google conferences. The ones that are marketing conferences, they understand the power of keywords. And hey, if you're going to be sharing images of you traveling to San Diego or Denver or Florida or Austin, make sure you use this keyword to tag. Okay, like if I go to FinCon, I'm sharing, videos and pictures and stuff like that of FinCon, hashtag FinCon, right? I'm always amazed at these conferences and notes in real estate. They don't teach their audience to share a keyword for the event. What's the keyword or what's the event? Share that. You'll be surprised how few people do that. But those people that do are probably the people you want to network with. So when I go to Instagram or TikTok and I do searches, those that are posting, I will like to try to connect. It's an easy way to really kind of draft off of another's audience without having to show up at an event. Monthly activities. These are things you need to be doing at least once a month. The list has gotten smaller. Those daily, weekly activities, a lot to choose from depending on what your strengths. I wouldn't say try to do them all. If you did, great. But add, okay, I'm going to do this today. I'm going to do something new tomorrow. Monday through Friday, I'm going to try to get 5 new things done. And that's a good starting point for you, okay? Monthly activities as a note investor is sending an email out to your asset managers list, all right? That's one of the things. You've built an email list of asset managers. One of the things we teach in our 3-day workshop, send an email out to them, and then following up with an email 2 days later to those that didn't open up. That's a simple activity where you write that email once, you send it out, boom, 48 hours later, you resend the same email to those that didn't open it the first time around, okay? I think it's valuable to pick up the phone and call asset managers, at least 50. There's people that are hedge fund guys that we buy from on a regular basis or have lists available that are not publicized that we reach out to at least once a month. Usually it's once every other week. Hey, what do you have on your books that you're looking to get rid of? Do you have anything new that you're looking to sell that we can make an offer on? That kind of stuff. And that keeps it fresh. And those are people that asset managers aren't the most marketing savvy people. That's okay. But it's a way to get a fresh list. It's doing that a little bit extra than just going to a crapper stack, okay? Or another portal that doesn't have a lot of stuff, okay? Vendor networking. Okay, this is one thing I think so many people forget about doing. And this is one of the most valuable things that you can do with your vendors. Is I like to reach out to my vendors. Hey, what do you have going on this week or this month that we can promote to our audience? And most vendors, if you've got a 1,000-person database or social media and you're going to share that they've got an upcoming event or promotion, they're going to love you. They're going to send business your way. Hey, talk to this person, or hey, talk to this guy or this gal. Simple things. Yeah, what event do you have? This is one thing I think we do better than anybody else out there, especially with our master classes with our vendors. Hey, what do you have going on? Let's do a master class. Let's promote you to our audience, because not only are you valuable to ourselves, but you're also valuable to our network. I don't just promote any Tom, Dick, and Harry, anybody think, but it's got to be something that we're actually using as an add value to our audience. And that's one thing that we can do with an email, a short video, a webinar, whatever it might be. Okay. One thing that's valuable, our Note Night in America, is it's really kind of become a regular weekly schedule. Well, you don't need to do it Monday nights at 7 p.m. Maybe you just do it a lunch and learn or a short little deal flow video, what you're doing via Zoom or Facebook Live once a month or twice a month. Like Cal Ewing's been doing lunch and learns on noon Central Time, going through some different deals or case studies that he's doing and working through. I think it's a phenomenal way. We've had people do this in the past, and it's always led to good results in raising capital, getting things done, okay? Obviously, monthly, every month usually has some sort of some sort of holiday. Send an email out to your database, at least say, hey, happy whatever. All right, we're in March. Guess what's happening in March? Spring break, right? That's a big thing most of the time. You have what? Everybody's favorite Irish holiday, St. Patrick's Day. February, we had Valentine's Day. January was New Year's, right? April Fool's Day, right? May, Memorial Day, Mother's Day. Think about that. Every month has a holiday. That's at least something you can send out to your database and list across there, okay? Networking, going to your monthly RIA club is a good thing. If there's 1 or 2 in your group, you can pencil in a night to go out and start networking, okay? Same thing if there's a live conference. I don't go to live conferences a lot anymore, but if you're brand new, they're worth going to, some of the different ones, and pick out. You only got to go to once a month. That can be very costly, but look at what's going on in your schedule. Okay. Like I'll give you an example. Like in March, one of the big things that I look forward to going to, it's on my calendar, is South by Southwest. Now, I'm not going to pay the $1,500 ticket for a badge. Okay. I avoid downtown Austin like the plague, but on Wednesdays of the event, they open up the conference center to locals. And it's so valuable. I'll go down there and network. And I've met some great people, great vendors, great tools, great software last year that I really love that I applied to my business and help out there. If there's a local event, Mortgage Banking Association or servicing convention or something like that in your state or your audience, it's worth going to. Like I registered to go to the MBA or a loan officers conference. That was a one-day thing, just to go out and talk with people and seeing who's on the guest list and going from there. That's well worth it. Okay. One thing, especially if you're looking to raise capital, we've talked about this before, sending out 100 letters to self-directed IRA investors. That's a whole different class. We'll talk about that later on. But we definitely go through a lot of our process for reaching out to IRA investors with postcards, letters, and our whole process for doing this. And this literally works. All of our coaching students are doing this, and it works like bonkers and helping them raise capital. Okay. And then not last but not least, but a thank you note. When was the last time you sent a thank you note to somebody? I try to get a thank you note. I'm not very good about doing it once a month. Try to do it once a quarter. We'll send some thank you notes out to people I've had on the podcast, people who have had me on their show, at least as a minimum. And just say thank you, or hey, I was thinking about you. One of the things that we do within the last couple of years at Christmas time is sending out a postcard, same thing. Hey, wishing you a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. It's not that expensive. It's just a personal touch. Hey, thank you, thank you, thank you, and go from there. Okay. One of the things I always like to Steve Smith. He was the author of, or Steve Sims, not Steve Smith. I was thinking of the wide receiver of the Carolina Panthers. Steve Sims. He was the author of Bluefish. He talks about, like, if he goes to hotels or conferences or stuff like that, he always like to get stationery from the front desk if you go to someplace cool and sending a postcard or something that they get to somebody that's on your list. And that really does stand out. It works well. Pick up the phone and talking to investors. If you've got people, and let's just pick up the phone. If you got people that have opted into your database or opted into your pitch deck, don't be afraid to pick up the phone. I know we get so antisocial a lot of times where we'll want to send a text message or an email blast, but sometimes picking up the phone, you'd be surprised. I like to pick up the phone and call folks. Now, most of the time they're calling me and booking a phone call, and I go there first, but I always like to follow up people. Hey, saw that you opted in. Do you have any questions? What questions can I answer for? So they know that I'm a real person who really does value what they're looking to do and trying to point them in the right direction. That's one of my favorite things, is phone calls every day with people in my audience. And if I know I don't have anybody scheduled on my calendar, and I know I need to do more marketing. I know I need to get another email blast. I need to get another episode out. To get people to get that phone ringing or that schedule going. Okay. Now, this daily, weekly, monthly activity, ladies and gentlemen, these are things you all should be doing. I think you all know that. I'm not trying to blow smoke up and make it a whole lot of work for you. But if you think about this, it takes you about an hour to write an email. It takes you less than 5 minutes to resend that email to your database. Calling asset managers, that's going to take some time. If you make at least 50 phone calls, that's probably going to be 2 to 3 hours. That may not be something you're able to do working a full-time schedule. I get that. But going to a monthly RIA, sending out postcards works for you. Picking the phone and talking to people after hours works for you. Networking. I mean, those are all things that you need to put on your schedule. And if you're in a major city, go out and network. If you have no database, nothing, go out and network with fellow investors. Find out, talk to people. It's one of the easiest ways to raise capital. If there's a self-directed IRA company and hosting an event, go networking. If there's a capital raising one day, I mean, I've paid to go to a 2-day capital raising event, paid a couple $100. I've paid thousands of dollars to go to conferences to learn about things. Like I said, FinCon is one thing I like going to in the finance, where money and marketing meet. It's worth me paying the $500 for the ticket and then the hotel bills and the travel and take 3 days out of my schedule, because it's a very rich. And then, finding too the app that a lot of these events do and going and connecting with the people speaking. And this is one thing, you can't attend conferences. Many of them will show you who the speakers are. Go find them on their socials. Go connect with them on LinkedIn or Instagram or whatever that, and start following them. And, hey, I thought I'd be able to make it out to the event. Would you mind jumping on a call, or would you be able to speak afterwards? I know you're probably busy. Those are important things to do. That doesn't take a lot of time. You can do them after hours. You can do them on the weekends. We're talking, if you spend 2 hours a week on your marketing, that's 8 hours a week, ladies and gentlemen. You will raise capital. You'll find deals. You'll start seeing things happen, but you got to come up with a plan. Got to plan out what you want to talk about, got to plan some of the different things. This is designed to make it simple for you, ladies and gentlemen. Keep it simple. And the use of, I didn't even talk about using AI like ChatGPT or Google's Bard. Those are some things that can help you create all sorts of topics, short videos or short video topics, deal flow, stuff like that. That's more something, if you're interested in that stuff, hey, let's get you signed up for our 3-day workshop, notebuyingfordummies.com. Get signed up for it. You will not regret it. First full day's on how we find asset managers, how we find deals. Second day about how we've raised capital and market. And day 3 is about the deal breakdown. And through each of those 3 days, we mix in how you market to find these things, how we use marketing to find asset managers, how we leverage LinkedIn, what do you post about, what you don't need to post about, how to come up with pretty easy to use content to make it look like you're doing something versus nothing. And here's the thing, 99% of people aren't doing shit out there. They're not doing anything on a regular basis. If you're at least a little bit each day consistent, you'll stand out from the crowd in a good way, not a bad way. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's not meant to be difficult, it's meant to be pretty easy for you. So as you can see, it's pretty easy. Create a spreadsheet like this, your month days 1 through 31 on the left-hand side, your daily, weekly, monthly activities on the right-hand side. If you want to get my slides and a copy of that, go to bit.ly/30-day marketing matrix. It's all lowercase, bit.ly/30-day marketing matrix. This will take you to the slide share where you can download these slides and everything else for you. It's meant to help you guys. This is not difficult. Note investing and marketing as a real estate investor is not rocket science, okay? It's simple. It's a lot of times they're doing the same things over and over and repeat, rinse and repeating. Simple. And honestly, if you spend some time on this, ladies and gentlemen, guess what? You'll find success. You just got to show up and be consistent and start doing something a little bit more each day. It'll grow your database, grow your audience. The more you communicate with your audience through sharing valuable insights, not stupid recipes. I know we always think about realtors sending out like a postcard or letter every month, right? They talk about touching 12 times. Most of those postcards, most of those newsletters are just full of crap. I don't need the latest recipe for Brussels sprouts, okay? There's nothing of value there for me. Give me something that can give me a value, right? Hey, my house went up by this value. Or, hey, you sold this other house. Or here's a rate if you're looking to refinance. Using vendors and tools, or so-and-so's doing a discount on something for spring cleaning or cleaning, whatever. Those are value. That add value. Think about that. What can you add value to your audience? Your audience is looking for ways to invest, get a high return, or get the ball rolling and learn about some stuff. So when you can combine education and entertainment, so it's edutainment, then you have something valuable, and it just takes time of doing that. First, most of you guys are going to be doing educating people on things, opportunities, news articles, and then you'll add your own flavor in over time. And I've been doing this for a long time, ladies and gentlemen. I've been an active real estate investor for 20 plus years. One big term is like from the military, embrace the suck. You're going to suck at it at first, but guess what? Keep doing it. You're going to get better at it to the point where people are like, wow, I love what you're doing. You're the guy or the gal that I think of when it comes to real estate investing. That's ultimately what you want. And that when you have a need and you need to raise capital, your audience, your network is already tied up. I'm not tied up, already revved up and understand what you're doing, so they're ready to roll. The big mistake that most investors make is they don't market until they need capital, and then they're behind the 8 ball. Then that aspect of 80% happens after the 5th touch. They're trying to get everybody to fund stuff on the first touch, and then they fail miserably because their audience doesn't trust them. They've built no rapport. Heck, your audience may not even know you. Like, why the heck are you trying to get me to fund a deal when I don't even know you from Adam? Okay, so share, and trust me, this will work. It takes more time. It takes time and skill. But if you're going to be an investor for long term, you might as well start planting those seeds, planting that tree now, so that it blossoms and grows into a beautiful plant and things you can harvest in the near future. So check it out, ladies and gentlemen. bit.ly/30-day marketing matrix to get the slides. As always, feel free to register for notenightinamerica.com to get on the next replay of Note Night in America. Thank you for listening to the podcast, and however you listen to the podcast. If you're watching the YouTube channel, make sure to comment. Like I said, we're glad to help you out. And as always, you can book a call with me at talkwithscottcarson.com. That's talkwithscottcarson.com. I'm here to help you take your note in real estate investing to the next level. So go out, take some action, everybody, and we'll see you at the top.